going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I'll get the hiccups. I need some water. All right. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm sorry about that. I've got a good one. I got a couple good ones today. They're all longer though. I didn't get a lot of short clips. There's a couple exams that were really good today. This one is no different. This is Judge Simpson. And this is Mr. Styron. This is the sovereign citizen that's been in front of Judge Washington and Judge Simpson multiple times for the last 3 or 4 months now. He started really strong with the sovereign citizen script, went pro se multiple times, and he did bail out on being pro se once he realized that he didn't get enough time in the law library or in front of a computer to be able to watch all of his discovery. So he asked for an attorney. And he's pretty much calmed down since then. But since we've been following this case, I wanted to play it. I wanted to share it with you guys. There is body cam footage of his arrest, at least what they show in court. It's about 5 minutes of it. So that is included in here as well. So, yeah, let's go. All right. I'm rambling. It's a 2-minute intro on the backstory of what's going on here. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Court does call the case of People versus Thomas Styron.
On behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Otatella on behalf of Mr. Thomas Styron, who's to my right, sir.
Your name?
Thomas Styron.
Thank you.
Wow. Yes.
If he needs to.
Yes, I was. I was.
I wasn't the APA, so do you mind if I go back? Like, I just kind of want to start again. Your Honor, I've asked defense counsel because I wasn't the APA that started this exam, and I don't have a transcript, which is my fault because I never asked for one, frankly, that if it's okay with him if I kind of just start again and a sergeant ends up testifying to things he's already testified to. I understand from the sergeant that your testimony was very brief, correct, before the adjournment occurred?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Okay with everybody that I just kind of call him as a witness and start fresh?
I am fine with that because it's been some time. And I think it was to the defendant's advantage or at least making sure that the defendant was covered with reference to things.
Correct. I don't have any objection to that, Your Honor.
All right. That's fine.
We'll start by calling Sergeant out.
First and foremost, I gotta figure out. I gotta read how to pronounce the name. I would mispronounce this every single time without this. Escales, thank you so much for the member for 2 months. That is awesome. Thank you so much. And I do remember, I think I covered the part 1 of the exam. It only lasted for about 10 minutes. I don't remember why they adjourned it. I honestly don't. But they barely got into questioning the first officer and then they adjourned it. I want to say it had something to do with the videos, but that was the other guy. I know he had an issue watching everything, and they kept adjourning it because he wasn't watching all the videos because he didn't have time. But the guy that I'm thinking, his attorney just didn't show them to him, which was completely different. I don't remember why they adjourned it. I should have probably looked that up before I started this. Terry Barnes, member for 3 months. Thank you so much. You rock too, Terry. Thank you.
Sir, if you please come forward and be sworn.
Take a seat, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and the whole truth. Yes, sir. Take a first and last name.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you. And preliminarily, Your Honor, for the record, at the first preliminary exam, the prosecutor at the time put on the record that the people intend to amend the complainant information to add an added count 4 of felonious assault with the victim being Sergeant Hauk. and added count 5 of felony firearm and an added count 6 of felony firearm. And I
So
do,
2 counts of felony fire.
yes.
All right.
And count 4 of assault with a dangerous weapon, with the victim being
Oh, that,
Sergeant Houck.
you said count 4?
Yeah.
You meant the 4th added? Or
Sorry. So we have 3 on the complaint, and added count 4 of felonious assault,
oh,
count 5 felony firearm, count 6 felony firearm.
okay.
Thank you. And then the basis would be count 5 felony firearm would attach to the count 4 felonious assault. Count 6 felony firearm will attach to both count 2 and count 1, the RNO and the fleeing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Sergeant, where are you currently employed?
Sure.
For how long have you been employed as such? Were you working in your capacity as a sergeant with the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office on January 31st, 2024?
Yes.
Were you working at approximately 12:06 a.m.?
Yeah.
Is that your standard shift that you work is midnights?
6 p.
Thank you, PM, not AM, PM. Correct? So we're talking in the middle of the day. Thank you, my apologies. How did you come to be involved in this investigation?
Dispatched to a domestic.
What did you understand about the potential domestic?
There was a phone call that came in dispatch, rapid SOS, which is a geolocation for an hang-up call, and it was pinging in a particular location, so I went to check that space first.
Did you have the opportunity to go to the area where the 911 call was pinging from?
Yes.
Now, when you are being dispatched to something called a geolocation or a 911 call pinging to an area, does that tell you something about the type of area that you're looking for?
It generally gives you intersections where it's closest to.
Specifically in this case, the intersections you were looking for, and let me ask this question a different way. What's the difference between, what is a rolling domestic?
They're in a vehicle. They're moving in a vehicle, and there's a domestic assault taking place while they're in a car, while it's in motion.
Thank you. In this particular case, when you were dispatched to this area, were you looking for a rolling domestic?
Yes.
Why?
That was done with the call minutes.
Did you have the opportunity to make it all the way to the area that you were being dispatched to?
I did. I checked that area and I couldn't find anybody.
What did you do after you did not find anybody at that location?
On the dispatch screen was a name that I recognized from previous domestics. The female was involved as a victim.
That's the name you were familiar with.
Is anyone else looking for me in the courtroom? I was there 2 dockets in a row on Friday and Monday, and I keep looking back there. Like I think this is the first Simpson clip I played that Haley hasn't been in since Thursday. So I keep looking. Like, no, it's not that clip. Stop it. You're not there.
When you are in this moment back in January 2024 and you are familiar with this particular victim, do you have a suspect in mind?
I had after I was some research a particular person that I know. This is about him from his car and our cat.
Do you know the
Nikki, when are you going to Judge Simpson's? If it's Friday, I'll be there. So that would be cool. What else was I going to say? Oh, big news today, guys. I hit 15,000 subscribers today. What? 15,000. I wanted to say that in the intro, completely forgot. So thank you guys. Thank you all for helping me get here.
race of the person that you had in mind as the suspect?
Yeah.
And what was that race? White male. While you are looking around for somebody related to this ruling domestic, do you come across somebody otherwise?
I did, yes.
This other person that you come across, where are they?
So I went, I did some research on the Tyler and Colin. So I went to that location first and checked that. I was stationed there. I was doing some other research on the vehicles that were in the part of it address, and I was asking for all the vehicles that were registered to the particular female victim that I was looking for. So I could go look for those cars. They were out and about. And one of the cars was a Buick with a license plate on it.
You said a Buick?
Buick. Well, I was stationed there. Buick turned and went down past my driver's side door with no license plate.
What did you do when you saw that?
I asked dispatch, the person I was speaking to on the lead channel, whether or not they could tell if the lien return for the vehicle plate was a sedan or a van. I did not get a return from them. I didn't get a response from them, so I actually got stopped.
When you attempted to effectuate a traffic stop, what area were you located in?
I was on Calder. I was facing north.
Were you in the area of Calder and Seneca?
Yes.
In Ypsilanti Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan? What is the speed? You were on Calder?
Yes, I'm Calder.
What is the speed limit in that location?
25 miles neighborhood.
When you say that you attempt.
Oh, that's awesome. You're going to be there in person? That's cool. That's cool. Make sure you let Judge know you're there so he brings you up on YouTube.
To effectuate a traffic stop. What did you do to attempt to effectuate a traffic stop?
Lights initially. Wasn't to affect the traffic stop.
Fair to say that there was a traffic violation occurring of not having a plate on the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And then in addition to that, you were looking for a suspect regarding this domestic violence situation.
Yes. That's the script of the current boyfriend.
When you say the person in the vehicle, you're referring to the driver?
Yes.
Thank you. Once you your emergency lights, what occurred?
The vehicle did not stop.
Heather! I'm sorry. Hello?
What occurred? What did the vehicle do instead?
So I activated my siren.
Once you activated your siren, what occurred?
The vehicle kept going.
You said the vehicle kept going? Was there a point that the vehicle came to a stop?
It did turn into a driveway.
For how long did this pursuit continue before it turned into a driveway?
About 20 seconds or so. My license started activated.
Can you please describe the vehicle that you were driving?
I was driving the blue car, Washington County Police Tahoe. It's got markings on both sides, and the front and the back had sheriff on it.
Yeah, the overhead lights are consistent with a regular patrol vehicle. Thank you. Once the vehicle pulled into a driveway, and fair to say that driveway is located at 599 Calder.
Yes.
Once the vehicle pulled into that driveway, what occurred?
Driveway. The brake lights came on the car. I could not see the driver's side of the vehicle at that time. The brake lights were on, which indicates to me that the driver was still seated in the car. And as I went to exit my car, the brake lights came off and the car shifted.
So fair to say, because now I'm understanding that you could not see the driver's side. So fair to say when the driver pulls into the driveway, he must be turning right into a driveway.
Yes, you are.
And you are behind his vehicle?
Off to the side. I didn't get completely behind him.
When he pulls into the driveway, do you remain on the road or do you pull in the driveway behind him?
I'm still on the roadway.
And so in this angle, we kind of have an L shape of vehicles.
Yes.
Fair? And you don't have a visual of the driver's side of the vehicle. Thank you. And you've described what you've observed about the brake lights. And then I believe you said you saw the vehicle shifting.
Yes, you can see the vehicle shift.
And what did that tell you?
I think it would give my training experience that somebody was exiting on that side of the car.
What did you do when you observed this? And coupled with the brake lights?
Yeah, coupled with that, not being able to see what they were doing, I pulled my firearm and kept it already.
Are you saying, are you exiting your vehicle while you do this?
Yes.
And are you saying anything?
Not until I see the person.
What do you say when you see the person?
Something to the effect of, put your hands in the car, put your hands in the car.
How are you uniformed during this time?
As I am here, stated in court, I've got a mark 360 degrees and shares of it.
When you tell the driver of the vehicle to put his hands on the car, where is your firearm?
Still at the low ready.
What does low ready mean? I apologize.
So it's not directly pointed at somebody, but it's slower. It's at the ready to be utilized if necessary.
Thank you.
Directly at them if I need to.
Am I understanding that both of your hands would have been on your weapon?
No, I could use I had, at some points, yes, but sometimes no. I could use my hands to gesture.
I understand. Thank you.
Biggin. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much for the raid, Biggin. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who came over to hang out with me as well. I like always, I never finished the last video Biggin's playing because I got to jump over here, so I can't wait to go finish that. Last I saw, the big guy got tased. Yeah, saw him go down. He went down quick. Yeah, I can't wait to go finish watching that after the stream. But thank you so much, Biggin. I appreciate it. Thank you for everybody. A little quick catch up. This is it's Mr. Styron. I think his name's Thomas. I think his first name's Thomas. Thomas Styron. This is the sovereign citizen that used to be out of jail. He was out on bond, acted kind of dumb in Judge Simpson's court, got put in custody. He hasn't been out since. He has been in front of Judge Simpson, I'm going to say a dozen times over the last 3 or 4 months for this case. It kept getting adjourned because he did not have time in the law library, or I don't know how it works in jail. He didn't have enough time to go through all the discovery videos on his own. So because of that, he finally asked for an attorney, and he has been behaving ever since. He has barely spoken, but he did start out as a sovereign citizen. He may still be one. I don't know. He doesn't really talk anymore now that he has an attorney. But this is his case. This is his preliminary exam that's been adjourned a dozen times. So not a lot has happened yet. They're still kind of setting the foundation for why Mr. Styron was pulled over. Well, they just finished that. Now they actually got to the point where the officer actually pulled his gun on him. Okay. All right. I think I caught you guys up. All right. Thanks again, Big, and I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. The person that got out of the vehicle from the driver's side, if you were to recognize them again, if you were to see them again, would you recognize them?
I would.
And is that person present in the courtroom today?
I would be assuming because he's wearing a mask. I can't.
I understand. Thank you. Your Honor, could you ask him to, is that appropriate?
He just did.
He has. Okay.
Yes, that would be Mr. Styron.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Please let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Without objection, record so reflect.
And so the defendant is the person that you are ordering to put his hands on the hood of the vehicle.
On the side of the van.
On the side of the van.
Driver's side.
When you are ordering him to put his hands on the driver's side of the van, have you walked around to the driver's side of the vehicle with him, or where are you?
I am coming around, so I was stuck on the blind side of the car, which means I couldn't see him. So as I'm coming around the nose of my car, I'm able to finally have him come into view, and he is outside of the vehicle. At which time I ordered to put his hands on the side of his van.
And did he comply with that command? What did he do? Do you recall the things that he was saying to you?
Some of them.
Do you recall something along the lines of him being at his house?
Yes.
This indication of essentially he's at his house, so you no longer have authority over him?
Something about that.
Did he comply with your verbal commands?
No.
Did you did you give him any additional verbal commands of what you wanted him to do?
Yes, in addition to telling him when I stopped him.
Fair to say that one of the things that you're repeating to him is to put his hands on the vehicle.
Yes.
And even while you're repeating it, he's refusing.
That's correct.
I really wish someone would tell the officer to speak into the microphone because we can only hear every other word. Sometimes you can hear him pretty clearly, and then other times you can't. So they need to fix this. I'll bring it to judge's attention on Friday.
While he is refusing to comply with your commands, do you do anything with your firearm?
Yes, I am holstering it and just kind of walk up and make an arrest.
What was he under arrest for?
Sure.
Are you able to make it all the way to him and effectuate an arrest?
No.
Why not?
As I was approaching, he said I'm armed. So I withdrew my firearm and pointed directly at him.
Why did you do that?
For my defense.
Once he indicated to you that he was armed, did you see a firearm prior to him being in your physical custody? Did he indicate to you where the firearm was? How did he indicate to you where his firearm was?
He gestured with his hands.
What does a gesture mean? Is he pointing or something? And where was he pointing?
Towards like his midsection area. He was wearing like a sweatshirt.
When did you have the opportunity to observe his hooded sweatshirt at that time?
So I could see it.
You could see it. What does that mean?
I could see the sweatshirt.
Was there anything about his sweatshirt that appeared consistent to you with being in possession of a firearm?
You could see that there was weight in the pocket. I just couldn't identify whether it was a firearm.
So after he's identified to you that he has a firearm in his possession, does he threaten you?
Make a threat, yes.
How did he threaten you?
While just in the time frame discussing whether or not he was armed with a firearm, he had indicated he was going to cook me.
So let's take that a step back. So what is the conversation that's going on about the firearm?
That he has it, he's armed with it.
What is his tone and demeanor?
Okay, this is actually kind of funny because he kind of does. The way that he has his camera set up for his Zoom, what you see on the TVs, is I think there's 4 different cameras, and it doesn't shift like it does on YouTube. They're all set there. Now, one TV is just set there. One of them does shift that you see on YouTube, but one of them just is all the cameras, and one of them is constantly on Mr. Allen. And I swear that's what he's looking at the entire time. Where he just looks like he's just like staring at a wall. He's looking at the TV, and I'm not going to say he's staring at himself because that'd be weird, but I feel like that's what he's looking at. But it is kind of funny because it is kind of right on him the entire time.
While he's communicating with you.
He's argumentative. He's got a blade stance, which is a defensive or combative stance. It's not someone who is complying with my orders, legal orders to go and be placed under arrest.
And while he's in this argumentative tone telling you about his firearm, he says to you, "I'm going to cook you."
Yes, twice.
He says it twice. How did that make you feel?
I thought that he was going to shoot me.
What did you do while you were feeling that this armed person who was argumentative with you was going to attempt to shoot you? What did you physically do?
Well, I retreated a little bit. I put my vehicle engine lock between him and me. And then I started looking at the backdrop because I saw movement back there. Female and maybe some kids in the window or some moving in the window of the house. So I had to take into account all that stuff. Something like that's going to happen.
When you say that you're looking at the backdrop, is part of that for the event that a firearm is discharged?
Yes.
Either yours or his?
Correct.
Is there a point that he is explaining to you that he intends to defend
Thank you, Cookie. I appreciate you being here. Welcome.
himself?
Yes.
Is there a point that he says to you, "Do you understand me?"
Yes.
Fair. Oh, thank you, Your Honor. The question, "Do you understand me?" Did you understand that to be related to his statements about defending himself?
Yes.
While he is saying these things to you about defending himself and "do you understand me," is his argumentative tone continuing?
Yes, it is.
Is there a point that you were able to place him under arrest?
Yeah, back up around the scene, we were able to get him to reply.
Backup arriving on scene, would that include other deputies?
Yes.
Is there a point that he's in handcuffs? After he is in handcuffs, is a search incident to arrest conducted?
It is.
Do you know if a firearm was recovered?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to cover his person.
And where from his person was it recovered from?
I can't state specifically without looking at the report. I'd have to see that.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm showing defense counsel a paragraph called "recovered firearm" on page 7 of the report. May I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. You just read the paragraph to yourself called recovered gun, and then I'll take the report back here.
It's actually a good time to pause. I should have waited till now. It's hard to find good place to pause when there's a live hearing going on. Jay, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it, as well as Cookie. Jay and Cookie, thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Thank you. I generally do Members Mondays on Monday. I didn't do it last night because I had a Haley update since I was in Judge courtroom with them yesterday. So I didn't want to make that members only. I thought that was unfair to everyone that is following along. You shouldn't have to be a member of my channel for a follow-up to that, but I wanted to play that last night. So I didn't do a Members Monday last night, but I do usually do them on Mondays. Let's say that. I can't say always. But thank you both. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Did that help refresh your recollection? Thank you. Where was the firearm recovered from? Thank you. And would that area have been consistent with where you saw some weighted item earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
Fair to say that this was I'm going to give this a try here, a handgun?
Yes.
It was a Taurus, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall whether the Taurus handgun was, whether it had any ammunition in it?
I believe I had a little magazine, but it was not around in the chamber.
Thank you. Now, some follow-up questions about what occurred after he was arrested. Did you transport him to the Washtenaw County Jail?
I did not.
Why not?
Well, I was on the way to the Washtenaw County Jail. There wasn't an incident that happened, and me being a sergeant, I was responsible to attend to those situations and emergencies. And I can't take a prisoner to those emergencies. This emergency was a vehicle to a house while undercover units from another police agency were chasing it. And that drew our resources plus myself. So I had to release him pending charges.
So you had initially intended on transporting him to the Washtenaw County Jail?
Yes,
There was a point that he was released from your vehicle,
yes, he was.
and that was not for lack of probable cause to arrest.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I have one moment?
You may.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's been in jail for 4 months. I mean, I'm going to guess you don't really get your choice on what kind of hairstyle you want in jail. I don't really know. Like, I've never been. So, but yeah, I give him a pass just because he's been in jail for about 4 months now.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Cross.
Hey, look, there's Rachel McDuffie. She's sitting in Judge Simpson's courtroom today. She said a few things today. I didn't actually see if she had a case though. I think she may have had a case and it just didn't go today. I feel like that may have happened. Because I feel like there was a couple chuckles between McDuffie and Simpson today. They were discussing, if I remember right, they were discussing the case that McDuffie was there for, and they were all ready to go. But then the defense attorney walked up and said, "Oh, we're waiving. We're not going today." So, and she just sat there the rest of the day. I think that's what happened.
Examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You want the screen?
In a moment, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
During the cross. Good afternoon, officer. Thank you for spending it with us. Officer, you had stated that you were on a different mission that day. Is that correct?
Yes, I was on another call service at the time that I came across Mr. Starr.
All right. And you were looking for a white male that day?
I was looking for a white female and a white male.
Okay. And what brought you into contact with Mr. Styron?
When I got back, the other vehicles that registered to the female one was a Buick. I couldn't discern whether that Buick was a sedan or a van, and it didn't have a plate attached to it in the lead return. So when that vehicle came by, I had a driver, and he slowly made the turn. And when he went by me, he looked like he was alone in the car, but I couldn't be certain. So I effectuated the traffic stop to do an investigation.
Okay. And you didn't have a name for the other individual you were looking for?
There was a name. I just can't remember offhand. It was in the time system related to the
Okay. Now, you stated that you approached, that you made a stop of Mr. Styron, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated when you made this stop, you initially flicked on your lights?
Yes, turn my lights on.
Okay. And then, do you know approximately how long those lights were turned on?
I have to review the videotape to be certain.
Okay. Now, when you make stops, do you first turn your lights on?
Yes, lights come on first.
Okay. And then is there a brief pause before the sirens go on?
Generally speaking, yes. Depending on what we're doing, yeah.
Okay. Now, so lights go on, then sirens go on after. Is that correct? Okay. Now, do you do this so that if someone doesn't stop with the lights, then the sirens go off?
It's done for that reason, but also it's, like you have to have the sirens and lights activated for the movie. So if you just have your lights on, it's not the same as if you have your lights and sirens activated. You want to give the person that opportunity to pull over.
So I want to go back for a second. You said that you turn this, you said you turn the sirens on, excuse me, you turn the lights on, and then you said something about the sirens go on for the fleeing and eluding?
The sirens go on because you want the person to pull over. But if you just have your lights on and the person keeps driving, it doesn't meet all the thresholds of that for eluding. So you need to have the siren activated. All your emergency equipment SPI.
So you were trying to meet the threshold for fleeing and eluding by turning on the sirens?
It's required.
Okay. So what if someone simply doesn't see you at the point when the lights go on? Would it be appropriate to turn the sirens on at that point?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're obviously not hearing you, they're not seeing you, so you want them to be able to hear you as well. The audible sirens for others, citizens in the community as well, so they know what you're doing and they can pull over and allow you to pass.
Okay. Now, at this point, when we have Mr. Styron pulled over, okay, you state that you come out of the car and you have the pistol at the low and ready.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the first thing you do when you come out of the car? Do you have the pistol out right away?
In this particular instance, or are you referring to general?
In this particular instance.
In this particular instance, I did due to the behavior of him, yes.
Okay. May I ask why that's the first thing we do?
Because of his behavior.
Okay. Now, what was his behavior up to this point?
Failed to stop and then exited the car.
Now, is that the general policy?
It's not a general policy on that.
There's not a general policy on that.
That's police experience.
Okay, so is that your particular police experience in this? Okay, so what about Mr. Styron's behavior made it so that when you stopped him, you felt you had to pull the weapon out right away?
Because he continued to drive, and the sirens came on and he continued to drive, and he pulled into a driveway. Then he exited the car after I exited my car.
Now, you stated that he continued to drive for about 20 seconds.
Yes.
And you felt that after he drove for 20 seconds and he exited the car, the first reaction should be to pull out your pistol.
Yes, I'm having it below ready to protect myself 100%.
Okay.
All right. They pause it. I'm trying to get better at pausing. I paused it a lot at the beginning of this video, so I'm trying to get a little bit better towards the end. Lori, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Very generous of you. Also, Sparkle Poots, I missed this. At least I think I did. I don't remember saying thank you. So thank you so much for the 5 gifted membership, Sparkle Poots. I appreciate it. Welcome to the 5 new members. Thanks, Sparkle. If I missed it, I'm sorry. If I didn't, you get 2 shout outs. Thanks, Sparkle.
Now, during this whole incident, you wore a body cam, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did it capture a video of the incident?
Yes.
Okay. It was activated during the incident, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if technology will allow me, I'm going to show you a clip of that incident for authentication purposes. And we'll ask you what it is.
The body camera, you ready?
Yes.
I'll just see ready. You don't know.
Okay. I guess we have a stipulation, Your Honor. That's okay. Thank you.
Defense Exhibit A.
Thank you.
Sorry. Got it.
This is a preliminary exam. That's what's going on here. It's not his trial yet. This is preliminary exam is Mr. Styron's last step in district court. Because of the felonies, Judge Simpson doesn't really have much jurisdiction over the felonies, so he has to send them to circuit court. But Judge Simpson handles the probable cause part of the felony matter, so that's what he's doing. So this is I think I explained it well enough. I don't want to ramble.
Now, this is a lot longer, Your Honor, and there's a portion of it that's kind of stopped there. I won't get into what it is and state all of that, but the relevant portion.
All right. I need to warn everybody, and that noise you just heard is probably going to be a warning enough. I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit on my side. I don't know how they have the audio set up, but the audio for this video comes in extremely hot. Like it's really loud, kind of fuzzy. So I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit on my side. You might want to start tweaking yours now, just so you can turn it up instead of hurt your head, hurt your ears, and then have to turn it down. So just a warning. I would take a couple seconds right now and just kind of put your volume at 50% and then turn it up instead of the other way around. I'll wait a few seconds to so you guys do that, and you're gonna want to listen to me because it's pretty bad. All right. Hopefully you listen to me. I like how I said that, then there's no volume. It's going to come. Don't worry. Why is the defense attorney showing the officer driving? He's in complete control. All right. I think this is at the house. I think that's the part of this we see. Yep. All right. Volume check, everybody.
You just rolled down through here.
which is a violation of the law, and you broke your hot dog and traffic stop. Can't do that. You're not listening to me. So there'll be more people coming and you'll be going to handcuffs. You will. Huh? Who's it doing? Who's it doing? This one? Oh, I take. I would beat your ass, bro. You think so? Well. I'm gonna take my firearm out. Let me have it. Now we're going out, we'll get it. So we can go that route. I'll shoot you. You pull it back, you pull up this side, I'm gonna shoot you. You will not pull that down. You will not pull it down. You will not do that. You understand? You attack me. I will defend myself. If you understand, then you will confidence now to your back.
Peeps, they only play this for about 2 or 3 minutes. It's actually almost over.
You cannot leave. So, is it a firearm? And there's his vehicle and fuel compartments.
For the record, sorry to interrupt here. And I'm going by the time marker on the Axon body camera. Defense started playing at 12:05 and 18 seconds, and we're now stopped at 12:08 and 36 seconds.
Thank you.
So
Cookie, he was representing himself for the majority of this case until he realized that he didn't have enough time to go through all the evidence without an attorney. So he got an attorney, and then he pretty much stopped talking. But he absolutely was representing himself. He was a sovereign citizen. I say is, I don't know. We don't know. He hasn't really said a word for about a month and a half since he hadn't got an attorney. Okay, let's go.
Officer Hoke, you had stated that you came out in the low and ready, correct? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yes.
Yes, I apologize. And Officer Hoke, you had stated that the pistol was not pointed at Mr. Styron before he informed you that he was armed. Is that correct?
Ready. It's in his direction, but I haven't leveled it completely at him yet. You see my level at him when I brought it completely up. The little radio is resting right here. It's resting right here. So it's not directly pointed at him, but it is pointing in his direction. There's a difference between little radio and pointing directly at him.
So, Officer, do you believe that this was a de-escalation tactic?
This is me telling him exactly what he needs to do. So yes, this is a de-escalation tactic.
Officer, at any point, did Mr. Styron point a weapon at you?
No.
Okay. Officer, at any point, did you actually see a firearm on Mr. Styron?
No, sir.
Okay. Officer, when you were giving these commands to Mr. Styron, your pistol was out the entire time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. From the onset of the stop throughout the entire incident, your pistol was out, was it not?
I believe there was a market there where I either holstered or was almost holstering, right? Before I went to make contact with him before he was armed. I can't remember if one of those made the holster down on my side, get ready, one of the holster before I make contact to make explosive arrest. When he said he was armed, I backed up and pointed directly at him.
Officer, isn't it possible that your pistol being out could have impacted his ability to follow these commands?
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you redirect?
Just very briefly, Your Honor, I apologize.
Do you recall the line of questioning about lights and then sirens?
Yes.
You indicated in one of your answers something about lights being on, and you use a siren because you want to give somebody every opportunity to stop.
Yes, they needed to pull.
Fair to say that that is what you did here. First, you attempted to use your lights. He didn't stop. Yes? And then you turned to your sirens as well to try to get him to stop.
Yes.
You didn't want to have a situation where he claimed he didn't see your lights.
Right.
Thank you. Pointing the gun at him. You're a sergeant, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say you have extensive training and experience on police officer safety.
Yes.
You are not required to wait until a defendant has you at gunpoint before you draw your weapon, correct?
That's correct.
And you are not required to wait until a defendant has fired at you, risking your life, until you point your gun at him, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Anything else?
Just one further, Your Honor. Regarding the cook you. Now, we hear Mr. Styron say, "I'm going to cook you," correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does Mr. Styron go on further to say what "I'm going to cook you" means?
Yes, it did.
What did he say?
When I asked him to clarify about the statement while we were having dialogue, and he said that he cooked me like exactly litigiously, something to do with suing me. It was no problem suing me.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep
Just to
going
be
back.
clear, we listened to the recording of that while we watched your body camera, right?
Yes.
To be fair, what he says is, "I'm going to cook your ass, bro." Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
So that we don't have a dispute, I know what it is. The low and ready on the body cam. Your weapon is pointed downward.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there is a clear point on the video after he tells you or informs you that he's armed, that you then bring it basically to the ready.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
I don't know about you guys. I think we need some more redirect on what cook you means. There's a lot more questions. We have questions. Can we ask questions? I want to ask some questions.
Anything else from either side?
Nothing for the people. Thank you.
Nothing further from defense. Thank you.
Sergeant, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the people have no additional witnesses.
Any witnesses for the defense?
No witnesses from defense. Thank you kindly, Your Honor.
Motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. This time the people would motion to bind over on an amended information that added count 4 felonious assault, added count 5 felony firearm, added count 6 felony firearm. Thank you.
Your Honor, defense would move to dismiss the felonious assault. There was no indication that a weapon was pointed at the officer at any time. There was no imminent threat of a weapon being pointed at the officer. Leave the requirements.
There was no imminent threat. Say that last part again.
There was no imminent threat of a weapon being pointed at the officer.
Okay, go ahead.
We would move that be dismissed, Your Honor. As to the resisting and obstructing, Your Honor, we believe that with the weapon being, with the officer's pistol, I want to phrase it, with the officer's pistol being present from the beginning of the stop to the entire incident throughout, my client, Mr. Styron, wasn't able to function properly in obeying the lawful commands. He was placed in a state of fear.
So you're saying the sergeant's command to put your hands on the vehicle, he couldn't follow because the officer's weapon was drawn? That almost seems counterintuitive to me.
Your Honor, the situation was escalated to a point that it didn't need to be at, Judge. It was an unreasonable use of force at that point.
Okay. I'm going to vehemently disagree with you. And probably one of the reasons I'm not a police officer, because I don't know that I could have had the discipline that the sergeant did. But go ahead. And
with those two counts, Your Honor, the fleeing and the looting there was only 20 seconds of, let's see, at 23:50 in the video, the sirens go off. Excuse me, the lights turn on at 23:20, the sirens going off at 23:50. If he didn't see the lights for those 30 seconds, there's only 20 seconds of actual siren time. And I believe that is an adequate amount of time for someone to be pulling over, Judge. So if he stopped at that appropriate amount of time, 50 seconds total, Your Honor, would be a reasonable amount of time for someone to pull over. I don't believe there's enough to go on the fleeing and the looting. We would ask that that be dismissed. If those are dismissed, the felony firearms cannot follow. So for those reasons, we'd ask not to bind over. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this is a situation where people don't understand that when the police stop you and the police are effectuating an arrest, it's not a mutual argument. You don't get to fight with the police, you don't get to pull your gun out. You are under arrest, and this sergeant is in control. And when Mr. Styron refused to turn over control to the sergeant, he committed felonies. So first, to say that 50 seconds is a reasonable amount of time, I mean, to pull over a vehicle, it takes seconds to pull over a vehicle. We can all, and Your Honor could take certainly judicial notice of your experience as a driver as well, that you can immediately pull over your vehicle, and that is not what happened here. However, if Mr. Styron had
pulled— What do you mean, that I've been pulled over?
No, just that
No,
people
go ahead.
genuinely, yeah, you've probably pulled a vehicle over at some point somewhere, with unrelated to the police. But Mr. Styron doesn't get out of his vehicle and say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I didn't see your lights." He proceeds to argue with the police officer as if he has any leverage in this equal argument, which it's not. It's an arrest. So certainly he had enough time to not only see the lights, but then hear the siren. To say that the officer caused fear in Mr. Styron, frankly, I hope that he did, because I hope that Mr. Styron realized how close he was to being shot given his actions. But what Mr. Styron was able to do was not freeze up in fear, not cry, not be so scared of the officer, but instead say, "I'm going to cook your ass, bro." Yell at the officer about how he is at his house, yell at the officer about how he's not going to be put in cuffs. That's not somebody who's just frozen in fear. That's somebody that doesn't understand what the law is and doesn't understand that this sergeant is the person that was actually in control. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Judge Kelly, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I would emphasize on the felonious assault, though, there was no weapon pointed at the officer at this
But
time.
to
The
have—
officer was in control of the situation, Your Honor.
But hold it. To have— your argument is that the weapon would have had to have been drawn or displayed to have the felonious assault?
Your Honor, the officer was in control of the situation. He had his weapon drawn, and Mr. Styron he's a CPL holder in this situation, Judge.
All right, that's fine. Then he also had some other obligations to the sergeant, but go ahead.
Arguably, he told him he had the gun on him.
Arguably, yes.
But it's at the very least, Judge, the felonious assault, I would be pushing a little harder on that one because the weapon was not drawn or pointed.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. You're indicating that the weapon would have to be drawn to have a felonious assault. When, if there were no weapon, but he threatened the officer and the officer had reason to believe that he could do that, then that would clearly, wouldn't you agree, be an assault?
I think there's an indication in this particular instance that he was in a position to do that, Your Honor. In this particular instance, the officer has control of everything that's going on. I think this is more of a situation of my client is in fear of what's happening and is rambling words and just spewing things.
Oh, no. He's not rambling. He is directing words at the sergeant in hopes of having a certain result. That's what he's doing. This isn't just some wild rambling. Go ahead with the argument. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I know, I let it rest.
In this case, with regard to the fleeing and eluding third degree, defense's argument of the timeline, I think what one needs to really pay attention to in the body cam footage is to figure it out. Because if you just say 20 seconds or 50 seconds, maybe that doesn't seem like a long time, depending on the speed at which you're traveling. If you just watch the vehicles or the houses that go past in the back of the video, you can see that Mr. Styron traveled quite a ways, and certainly could have pulled over within that time frame. It isn't like he just went 2 houses down. He is behind him for a long time, and Mr. Styron doesn't pull over. I think certainly that gives the court basis to find over on count 1. With regard to the police officer resisting and obstructing, I think the body cam is probably the greatest indication that he resisted and obstructed the officer. The officer told him, he continued to verbally fight with the officer regarding that. And so the people have sustained their burden. Count 3, the driving while license suspended, follows along as misdemeanor. Regarding the felonious assault, court does believe that a felonious assault occurred, which quite frankly is, in my estimation, why the sergeant had his weapon drawn. That at the time that he is giving commands to Mr. Styron is refusing to obey those commands, then informs the officer, and I would say not in the way I don't think that's contemplated by our laws regarding having a concealed weapon or CPL, but informs the officer that he is armed, then makes statements that at some point may have been clarified, but about cooking him and other things. All of those taken into account, this court believes constitute an assault because he is, in essence, reasonably making a threat. He has the ability to carry out that threat. The fact that that threat involves the use of a weapon, this court believes with that analysis, there are other facts and circumstances that play in when you look at the body cam footage. The court believes that in and of itself could constitute a felonious assault in this case, and will bind the defendant over on the requested added count 4. That then, as to count 4, the court having found that, as to count 5, the felony firearm, the people have sustained their burden of that, as there is the firearm present, and also have sustained their burden as to count 6, the felony firearm. So the court would bind the defendant over to stand trial on counts 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, with 3 following.
Your Honor, for the record, count 4 is felonious assault.
Correct.
At 0.81.
Give me that again, I'm sorry.
750.82.
Correct.
A 4-year felony and for $2,000.
Right.
Count 5 and 6 are 750.227B.
7D.
B is in boy.
Okay.
Mandatory 2 years in prison, consecutive and preceding any other sentences.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Dr. Kelly, do you waive presentation of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
and waive its reading. And
Yes, Your Honor, would waive the reading. It would stand.
defendant having waived from a reading standing mute, the court will enter a not guilty plea as to all 6 charges. Pretrial in this matter will be set for
November 18th at 1:30 before the display Monday.
November 18, 2024, 1:30, Slay Monday.
Well, that's about it, guys. I let it play for a long time at the end. I was just trying to read the chat. The chat's flying by so much, I got a little bit distracted. But yeah, there's a lot to break down here. I'm not an attorney. I really wish I was, so I could confidently say what I think about this. Judge Simpson did well breaking down all the charges that he's going to bind over to circuit court. I feel like Mr. Styron had a few defenses there. I don't know if the attorney just didn't do the best job at pointing out what he was trying to say, or if maybe the prosecutor just beat him. But yeah, there's kind of a couple things that I have problems with, especially after watching the video. But I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. I don't know the law. The officer walking out with his gun already pulled. Now they did say that he chased him for a little bit. He was in a neighborhood. He had the potential to move over, but he did actually have his gun drawn, and he said low and ready. It kind of looked like he had it up. Now I need to go back and watch the video before I confirm that. So, anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. It was awesome. Over 600 people. That is only the second time that I've ever had that many. I don't know what's going on tonight, but you guys are awesome. Biggin, thank you so much for the raid again. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I have a couple. See, Dwight, for calling the LSAT fund so you can ask the questions. Thank you so much. I've been preparing. I'm at the time where I need to schedule it. So I need to get in touch with Debbie and kind of figure out that process. Or if it's just jump online and schedule it. I don't know. But thank you so much, Dwight. I appreciate that. And then, of course, Sparkle Poots. Thank you so much for the PayPal, Sparkle. And yes, thank you for the gas money for Friday. I appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, I will be headed back up to Washington on Friday to hear the conclusion of Haley's case. So I will be up there. Yeah, if anyone's in the area and wants to come hang out, I mean, I don't see why you can't. But yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Friday's gonna be an amazing day, and yeah, I can't wait. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling and let you guys go. There's still about 15-20 seconds left of this video, I think. There's still, I can't really tell how much is left. There's still a little bit of the little timer at the bottom left, but nothing exciting happens. The case is pretty much over. You know what? I do have one question. I caught a case today that was awesome. There was a former NFL player. He's in court in person for probation violations, and his attorney got the judge very angry, where they were kind of having a shouting match back and forth. Here's the problem. I didn't get it all. It was removed from YouTube before I finished it. I only have about 90% of it. Do you guys still want to see that or not? It's still entertaining, but we don't see the end of it, and I don't know what the end of it is. So I've been debating just deleting it and saying goodbye, not thinking about it again. But it was such a good case. I was actually going to replace that one with this one until it was removed. But just let me know. I'll read the comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you want me to play that tomorrow night or not. It's just, like I said, it's so good until we don't see the end, and then it's frustrating at that point. Okay. Again, thank you all for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for the super chats, the gifted memberships, the membership milestones. Thank you guys so much. Mods, thank you so much for being on top of everything. We had a huge crowd tonight. Thank you so much for your hard work. I appreciate it. All right, that's all I got. I just looked to see who we can raid. I have nobody. There's nobody live right now that's on my list. Generally, there's one or two people. Even maybe not a court channel, but I see nobody. I see all the videos that are scheduled for tomorrow. I don't see anything tonight. So I'm going to head to bed. You guys have a great rest of your night. What's that, Mimi? KCC's not even, it doesn't even say she's soon. Like, it doesn't even say she's coming up. So I don't know. Maybe if I refresh, is she coming up soon? I don't know. She is coming up soon. Are you guys saying yes to play in the video, or yes that she's coming up soon? Well, we can raid KCC if she's coming up. I just don't want to raid for a video because it looks like the video that's on my list isn't scheduled till tomorrow, and I don't want to raid a video that's not scheduled for tomorrow. What time does KCC start? What time does it say she starts? Everybody, I just hit refresh. Lethal Fiction. I just hit it. Oh, now it says she's live. Okay, yeah, maybe my computer just or my YouTube was just not having fun. Okay, we're going to KCC. Thank you guys for letting me know that I just had to hit the refresh button. Okay, now I'm definitely out. We have somewhere to go. You guys have a great night. Tell KCC I said hello. I'll jump over there and say hi, but I'm not going to hang out long. You guys have a great night. I think that's it. Until next time, bye.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.